Hi Pega aspirants. In this video, you are going to learn about what is Pega Constellation and what are the basic differences between Pega traditional UI and Pega Constellation UI. This video is really going to help you a lot to understand how Constellation is different from regular Pega traditional user interface. Okay, every one of you, am I audible, online students? What is your application?
Sir, audible. LIC.
Okay, last class we were discussing about what was the topic? Batch number 619, right? 619, where is it? 619, right? Okay, so what we are going to learn today is we are going to start looking at constellation topic. What is the next one? So where we are going to work on Pega cloud environment. Pega cloud environment. Let me cross check whether this is still available or not. Okay, this is not available. Okay, Pega cloud environment we are going to work on. For that, I need some time. See how to register today. I will share you one document of process of registration on cloud instance. So after you register, you come to this screen, this particular screen. Okay, complete screenshots I will send you. No worries. Otherwise, should I show you now? Give me 1 minute. Okay, what am I going to do now is first I should show you this registration process. No need, I think. Okay, I'll give you separately, no worries. Okay, simply I'll go to Google. Okay, here I am typing Pega Community Edition. Pega Community Edition means it's a cloud environment provided by Pega. Okay, just I have already login. You can log in using your login ID credentials and all. You can use your Gmail ID for that. No worries. And here you go now. My Pega. You need to register actually. Okay, that registration process and all you'll come to know. I have already created my machine on the cloud, so I need to wake up my machine. So waking up machine may take 5 minutes time. So once it is wake up, I'll see one icon here to start. Okay, I'll open the environment and then I'll tell you. Before we proceed, let it be waking up. Okay, we cannot do it in 8.7. If you want, you can do it in 8.7 also when you have some additional updates when you do, but that updates doing and all, it's a different process. I don't want to spend time there. Constellation is the next topic. So what is constellation related to? Let me explain you. Okay, see, constellation is a concept related to Pega UI. Pega UI, comma, DX APIs. It was there before Constellation also, but okay, Pega UI, simply speaking, Pega UI. See, Constellation user interface is a new way of development. It is Constellation UI is a new approach of developing UI where we develop UI using React components. React components means, I'll tell you. See, there is a programming language, there is a scripting language, JavaScript. Using JavaScript language, they have developed another product called React. It has been developed by Facebook. Facebook has developed this React. React, you say React JS, you can say anything. React is a normal name because it is developed using JavaScript. To show that flavor in the name, they have React JS as name. React native means same React but for web development. For mobile development. React native means. But you don't have to bother about all these things. Okay, React you are going to use. See, while working with Pega, we have created sections. You have created layouts. You have added controls and all. You remember? everything is said to be a component in React terminology. Text box you have, you call it as a component. Okay, and drop down you have, you call it as a component. Section you have, you call it as a component. Every element related to user interface, every field, everything that you see in UI, that particular user interface things are called as components in React terminology. That's why Pega starts using the terminology of components while working with the constellation thing. Okay, component. Okay, good. Component. Now, see here. Everyone clear? Online students, are you clear? Understand the meaning of component and all you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Component, right? Now, see how it is different. Okay, you have used a traditional UI. Traditional UI. What are the traditional UI things available? First one, see, if you are working on user interface in Pega, for developing UI, Pega is already coming up with what do you call controls, right? Predefined controls, text box, radio buttons, sections, layouts, table layout, other layouts, and all these things, right? Chart control and all these are called controls. Good, but the thing is, these have to be developed by Pega and provided to you. Pega will develop its user interface as one framework. Again, that framework is UI kit. It was what? UI kit. When it was UI kit? Long back. Long back it was UI kit. Before Pega 7.2, I believe. I don't exactly remember the versions, but you can go to, I'll tell you. Just give me 1 minute. I may have some documentation. Okay, I do one thing. It is very simple. You don't have to buy hard these things. You need to know these things. Okay, never try to buy hard. You just need to know. Pega UI kit, comma, Theme Cosmos. What is the next one? Theme Cosmos, comma. What is the next one? Constellation. Constellation differences. Let's say, okay, in a table format. In a table format. Also mention a point from which version these are introduced. These are introduced. Okay. See, you can go to pdn.pega.com. Pega Systems official website, pdn.pega.com. Then you can see. So, traditional UI kit, it is there, Pega 7. And Theme Cosmos introduced from 8.3, they are saying. And Constellation introduced from 8.6. I think this is not correct. Constellation, 8.7 it is there. We are getting one option, no? I think 8.6 also it is there. But we are not using because so many other related things are not available with us. That's why we did not use it. I told you, you'll be facing so many issues while practicing. So from 8.8 onwards, you will be getting full-fledged. Okay, that's okay. You can take these differences from here. So first one is Pega UI kit. UI kit development, they have used HTML programming language. Very good. And Theme Cosmos also, they have used HTML5 only. HTML5, JavaScript and all that. From Constellation, they have started using React. HTML5, React will be there. React means what will be there? React components will be there. React common predefined libraries of JavaScript will be there. Okay. See, whatever the technology, let Pega use whatever the technology they want. Theme Cosmos, comma, what is the next one? Constellation. Evolution of UI. Okay. Traditional UI to Constellation. Okay. Evolution of UI. You just need to know UI kit was there some time back. Theme Cosmos was there. And today we are going to use Constellation. Okay. So let them develop UI using whatever the technology they want. What is it to me as a developer? Why should I bother about? Because I'm always doing a drag and drop thing. No. So I don't care about you used HTML, HTML5 or whatever you have used. I'll just come to know what is the environment, what we can drag and drop and all. We are going to do it. Why should I know about all these things? That is, so far in the traditional application development, okay. whenever you wanted to create any user interface, you can write HTML, JavaScript, all that. But now from Constellation, if you want to create your own UI components, you need to write React code. You need to write what? React code. But are you going to write React code? No. See, React developers will be there in your project. They will write React code. As a Pega developer, it's not. Suppose if you know React very well, why Pega is doing like this? See, Pega user interface or anything, it's like no coding. Why they are moving from no code to this is called a low code. Even low code means somewhat coding you write, so many things are available. But you know what, after 5 years, from now onwards, after 5 years, you don't have to write any code. So many things Pega will create as predefined things. Components will be created by React developers. Those components can be pushed into BRP's environment. You can start utilizing if it is not available, because it is at the very beginning. Let me tell you one point. You are working on Pega during 1998, 2002, 2004, 2005, 6, during this time. Pega is not this much evolved as you see it today. Its activities or its UI, it's not this much evolved. That time, whenever developers want something which is not available in Pega to be used or to be implemented in their project, they used to write their own Java code. They used to write their own HTML, CSS, JavaScript coding and all. They used to do all these things by themselves. Exactly, we are in the same stage with Constellation, which means that as Constellation has latest beginning using a different technology altogether called React. Okay, if Pega has done up to some extent where developers can manage to implement something, but not everything as it has its traditional UI. But over the period of time, it is going to develop so many predefined things using React and all. Its Constellation is going to be a full-fledged architecture where you don't have to develop anything in future. But today you may have to write React code, but not you, your React developers in your project. That's what is happening currently in the market. But someone who knows Pega already knows React means it is very good. But you know what? For Pega developers, it is highly difficult to learn programming languages because they are already with a mindset of no coding. Okay, since many years. Today, if you push them hard to learn programming languages, it will be really difficult for them. It is better to have one good programmer hired into project and then run your project smoothly without any problems. So these people will help on Pega part, which is almost 85% to 90%. The 10% of reactive coding, someone will help. So if you know well, it's very well. But Constellation architecture, Constellation development, you should know as a Pega developer, and React is an added advantage. Now, see why we are talking about this. Constellation is there. You write React code. Previously, also used to write HTML, CSS, JavaScript coding and all. So even using Theme Cosmos, today we are working on Theme Cosmos. No, go to our application, Pega application, native application. What is that you are using? Theme Cosmos. Even with today Theme Cosmos, if you really find something as a requirement, so if your client has given a requirement which is not at all available in Pega, you need it immediately. What you will do? There is a provision to create HTML code, write HTML code, CSS, JavaScript. You will write and you will create your own controls, something like that. Your own controls you will create. Same controls are other UI things you are calling as components today. Today also, if in some unavoidable situations, you are allowed to write your own code using Theme Cosmos also. Constellation is also same thing. So, but then why you are separately saying about Constellation here? Separately, why you are very much bothered about Constellation? Because it's not about React. It's about the way how Pega is coming up with the architecture of Pega user interface. What is the architectural difference in designing Pega user interface coming to Constellation compared to Theme Cosmos UI kit and all? Let me tell you simply. See, in UI kit, UI kit or theme Cosmos. Theme Cosmos. UI, when I say UI means ultimately section. Flow action is a supportive rule for processing. Harness is a supportive rule for appearance. Apart from that, UI means purely section. UI sections. UI is a section. UI is a section. Again, I am stressing the point. Section is an instance of class rule HTML section. Rule dash HTML dash section. What does it mean really to you? What does it mean? Means the sections we create gets stored as records in table which is in rule base, rule base. See, in rule base, you have so many sections, out of which there is one section which is mapped to the class rule HTML section. All the sections you create are translated into table records, are getting inserted into rule HTML section. Rule HTML section has 1000 records, means it has 1000 sections in PRPC. Go here now, records, user interface, section. If you click on this, the instances of class rule HTML section 40 or 50 per page into 193. Or you go here, just same thing. Rule HTML section. This is the class. Click on the class name, same thing will be displayed. Same instances of rule HTML section. Instances of same thing displayed, no, when you click on. So section is a record in the table. Clear? You know, in theme Cosmos also you have views. What is that? View. Let me show you that. Do you have any rule type called view anywhere? Do you see like user interface section? Do you have any rule type view? No, you don't have any rule type called as view. View is an instance of class rule UI view. Rule UI view. Okay, open this class. Oh, sorry, click on this class. You remember so many times you did this while practically working on configure view you have done. That configure view is going to create a view. So even though we created it as a view, we converted view into section now. Convert to full section editor, we converted. Understand? Now, if you right click on class view and definition, scroll down and test connection. PR4 underscore rule underscore view. View is also getting stored into a table, yes or no? View is also getting stored into a table. Very good. Table is there. Okay, that's very good. Definition, it will get stored. But the difference is section is a rule which gets stored as an instance in a table. Okay. Now coming to view design. Constellation. I'll copy this. Give me 1 minute. Here. Okay. And here you go now. Constellation is, okay, I'll write down one point here. Traditional UI. Traditional UI is section based architecture. Section based architecture. Constellation UI is purely view based architecture. View based architecture. So how it is different, I'll show you. Go here now. Go to the cloud environment. My system is ready. I'm going to bring up the system. Continue to try. Today mostly theory. Dev Studio. Okay. And we'll show you user interface in Pega. This is 24.2. What is the version we are going to work on? 24.2. Okay. So just go to flow action. Go to flow action. I'm just showing you because flow action is available readily in the recents. I'm just opening. Inside flow action, do you have any section? Inside flow action, do you have any section? But still the screen is designed. I will show you. There won't be any live UI. There will not be any live UI to be used for sections. For sections, it will not be available. Look at here now. UI is available. Live UI. You are not able to access these sections here. You can see you're not able to access. See, it is not showing any section that has been available for this particular UI. It's not available actually because I'll show you the flow action of this particular screen. Okay, any screen inside which section will not be there. But let me go to case type and show you. Go to case type, open this case type. From case type, you can even much better understand. Okay, some screen is there. Okay, for this one, I'll open the flow. I'll open the flow and show you. So today I'll give you a complete overview of what is it all about. Okay, it is taking time. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just open it once again. Open process I'm trying to do. Open process. You know this flows and all. Inside flow assignment will be there. Assignment output connector flow action will be there. Inside a flow action section will be there. But let us see whether that is really there here or not in 24.2. Okay, I will just verify in my okay. Okay, so here you go now. Let it be generated and I'll go here. Flow is open. So here, if you right click on this, open flow action. Very good, flow action is open. But inside flow action section is not there. But let me show you first screen of UI just by running. Just a few minutes back, we will see. Then how the screen is rendering? Section is not there. Then how the screen is rendering? The screen is rendering which is React components, which is React code components. React components are the screens now. It's not traditional sections. These are called as purely views. Purely views. You can see here, I just wanted to go ahead here and configure view. Case type. Here you go. Oh, not here. I want to go here to the traditional, this latest one. Configure view, you know, right? So here you go, configure view. If I click on configure view, it will allow me to add properties, page list properties, single value properties and all. But after the screen is created, section will not get created. What will get created is view will get created. What will get created? A view will be getting created as a result. What is view? Where we can see view, how we can open the view? I will show you. View is not a category. You need to understand. Like right click, create user interface section. There's no category as view. View is an instance of class role UI view. Once again, I am repeating. Role UI view. Click on the view. You see views are still getting stored as instances. Views are still getting stored as instances into the table. Rule UI view, like right click on this and go to definition once again. Here I'm repeatedly telling the same point once again, because the key point you need to understand. I'll tell you what is the key point. We are going to go towards that only. PR4 underscore rule underscore view. Okay, very good. You are having text boxes, radio buttons, you are having check boxes. Okay, table layout. All this seems like previously whatever the user interface which you have seen in Pega, same way UI is appearing. But here in traditional UI, you will have controls. You will have controls. Okay, sections. In Constellation UI, controls are equivalent to what is that? Components. Sections equivalent to views. Sections equivalent to views. Okay, and now let me try to open a view. Let me try to open a view. How do I try to open a view? Okay, let me go to App Studio. Oh, okay. Why to go to App Studio? From Dev Studio I'll open. Sorry, because App Studio anyhow I can open. App Studio you can open the view, no issues. You can see the view structure and all. Okay. View as a rule I am talking about. Rule UI view and its instances. These are the instances of rule UI view, right? Okay, click on any one of the view to open it as to see like a section. You know section how it appears, controls will be there, you will drag and drop, layouts will be there. But what view says, a view can only be created and edited using App Studio and cannot be accessed via Dev Studio. You cannot access views in Dev Studio at all. So let me tell you one clear cut point here. Drag and drop of the controls, all this is no more available in Pega. Let me write down. Adding, okay, drag and drop of layouts, controls is no more available in Pega. Is no more available in Pega. Okay, why? So okay, what if it is not available? What is it to me? Let me clearly tell you one important point here. That is, see, I will tell you one requirement. Okay, you just think of the solution because you are aware of somewhat Pega so far, right? We have a checkbox. On click of the checkbox, I want to call a data transform. What are the steps to be done in traditional UI? Traditional UI, checkbox is there. Okay, our button is there. Okay, button is there. It's a control, no? Which is a control. Button is there. In a button control, on click call activity. Call activity. This is the requirement. One requirement. For this, double click on button. Cell properties window. Cell properties pop-up will you'll get. Yes or no? There, actions tab. Then event and actions. Event and traditional thing. Event and actions. There. Tell me. Add event, comma. Add event. What is the event name? Click event. Add event of type. Click. Then action of type. Run activity. Run activity or refresh. There also you can call no refresh section like this. This is all you can do. But here, okay, I'll write down here requirement. For this requirement, this is a solution. This is a solution. Okay. Same requirement, I'll take it. I am going to take the same requirement into Constellation. This is a key point to know. Requirement, same requirement. You have a button, for example, on click of the button, call activity. Call activity. So now, solution. We need to open React code components. React component. Component means what? Code. Component means what? React code only, no? And there, write React event related to action, on click action, on click action. There is no way we can do UI configurations using UI in Constellation. Using UI in Constellation. UI configurations using UI. What does it mean? What is that you are adding? Click event you are adding. Click event, and as a result of click, what to be executed. That and all you are doing by using UI only. Okay, there is no way we can do UI configurations using UI in Constellation approach. See, previously you have UI. Anything you want to do, again you use UI only. Button you want to call activity, double click on button, you will get a pop-up and all. Okay, so on refresh of, okay, on change of some UI property value, you want to call one activity, that also you will double click and go to this one. On change, refresh, something you will be doing. These are configurations. The configuration approach has been deprecated. The configuration using Dev Studio for UI is being deprecated in constellation, which is called okay, in constellation is a center out approach. What is that? Center out approach. Previous approach was called a center in approach. Center in means anything you do there only. Whatever you want to do, you do in the Pega UI only. So you want to add an event actions, whatever the events and all you want to choose, whatever the actions you want to choose, all that you are going to do in center in within PRPC itself. But now Constellation is a center out. Out means not within PRPC, outside PRPC you are going to do. Why Pega has made this? There is a specific reason I'll tell you. Okay, why Pega is doing like this? Why they are not making it little complex compared to previous easiest way? But in future it will be even much easier than previous days. But for now it may sound like complex for you because we are as a beginner. Pega is a beginner in the Constellation development. Now center out approach means center out approach means PRPC user interface React components will get stored into a server. I have just searched for that. Here you where is it? Static content server. The static content server in Pega is a server of repository for all static resources needed by Constellation. It ensures the React components and related assets are readily accessible to client. Client means browser. Client means browser without burdening the main Pega server. From the word main Pega server, without burdening main Pega server, what you can understand is the UI is not getting stored into main Pega server. UI is not getting stored into main Pega server. Gets stored into another server than rule base. Another server than rule base, which is static content server. I'm just giving you some information here. Okay, static content server. Let me draw one diagram and explain you. Okay, just you are trying to know the architecture of this UI. Okay, just simple. I'm not going to make a complex diagram design as it shows in Pega websites and all. I will make it simple for you to understand. Look at here now. Imagine this is browser. This is browser. Into the browser, you are going to render everything UI related stuff and all. Where it will come from? It will come from PRPC environment. How PRPC environment will get? It is going to get it from role base. It is going to get it from role base. Let me draw a diagram here. Traditional UI in Pega. Okay, how traditional UI is there in Pega? Here you go. This is browser. Okay, and this is PRPC environment. And this is rule base. Rule base. So in the rule base, you have sections stored. PR4 underscore rule underscore section. Suppose, for example, PR4 underscore rule underscore section. Correct? Okay. Now into this section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, and so on. And so on, all the sections. So how Pega will get? Pega is going to render the section from this particular table to PRPC environment, and from PRPC environment, it will show in the UI. Section gets displayed in UI. UI along with other rules, even much better. I can draw this diagram, I believe. So what am I going to do is I'm going to remove this now. Just give me 1 minute. I need a somewhat big table here. Okay, let me draw once again this part. Okay, this is imagine rule base. In rule base, you have so many tables. No, you have so many tables. Let me talk about work object table. Work object data. So I believe it's better that I decrease the size to 14. Okay, work object data will be there in which table? Work table. Work table. Work table. Within work table, you will have work object data. Within work table, you will be having work object data. Work object data will come from here. Other rules tables will be there, no? Other rules also will be there in tables only, no? Yes or no? Other rules, all other rules will come from table only. Everything will come from here only. And especially I am going to draw one separate table for sections. Especially I am going to draw one separate table for, actually in other rules it will be available. And here section rule table is PR4 underscore rule underscore section. PR4 underscore rule underscore section. Into this table, sections will be stored. Section 1, section 2, section 3, and so on. Now, whenever you are trying to retrieve the things, work object data will come from here, and sections also will come from the same place. I mean, like same rule base, you will have a different table. Same rule base, you will have a different table called PR4 underscore. This is how the architecture of traditional UI. Yes or no? Everyone. So, traditional UI versus Constellation. Constellation. Where should I store this? Diagrams. Save this. How do I increase the size of this? Can I increase like this? It's zooming in or what? Okay, I'll just change the size here because I want draw here itself. View, file. Resize option is there. Zoom is different. Ruler, full screen, thumbnail. Resize. Okay, I'll resize it to 2500. Okay, let me see if I am going to get more space or it has become like this. Okay. Okay, you see now. I'll draw below. Now, what happens with Constellation is the Constellation UI architecture. Constellation UI architecture. Constellation UI architecture. In Constellation UI architecture, what you will be having? So you have browser. Okay, good. You have browser here. This is going to be browser. Okay, from to the browser, you will get it from PRPC environment. Okay, I'm drawing PRPC environment also here. Okay, and you will have rule base. You'll have rule base. Good. Rule base is there. But apart from the rule base, what is the next one? Static content server. Static content server. This is browser and this is PRPC environment. I don't have to draw PRPC environment, but I am drawing. Maybe you can understand much better. Otherwise, I'll put it here. Okay. And this is rule base. Rule base. Now coming to work object data. Work table. Work object data from here. From the work table. Work object data will come from which table? Work table. From work table, you will get work object data to PRPC. Very good. And then you have other tables. No, you have other tables here. Tables other than sections. Tables other than section. Sections. There are no more sections anyhow. Other than sections are views. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, tables other than sections. Sections are no more available. Everything will come from here only. Okay, now this is a static content network. What is this called as? Static content network. Network for React components. React components, which means Pega UI. Pega UI. Pega UI sections are no more. So now your indirectly your sections, if you say sections will come from separate server. Sections will come from separate server. So now the UI is getting stored into a separate server. UI is getting stored into a separate server from somewhere else other than rule base. From some other server, the UI is coming as views, where the UI is React code. What is it? React code is coming. It's not sections coming. You don't see that checkbox, radio button, drop down as controls. No. React code related to that will come. When code loads in UI, then it is going to display as a UI control and all. Okay, those are called as components. Still work object data will come from here, and the other tables and all will come from here. Understand? Now UI is being separated. UI is being separated. UI will be rendered from a separate server called static content network. UI will be in Constellation. UI is going to get rendered. From a separate server called as, what is the server name? Static content server. Static content server. This will speed up your application, plus also this will be useful to render. The main motive behind coming up with Constellation. How will static content server? Okay, give me 1 minute. Someone has posted a question. How will static content server know what view needs to be displayed? Yes, whenever you are using UI, no, you have designed UI, right? When you design UI, you place the components in UI. The screen related components will come from static server. The respect to JS files will be internally linked, JavaScript files and all. We don't know how it is being linked. Pega has such a coding and all. Okay. The main motive behind coming up with Constellation architecture is to embed Pega or embed or render Pega screens into third-party applications, easily, such as .NET framework, Java, Python. Okay. What else we have? Salesforce, anything. Maybe not other tools, other technologies, etc. See, normal applications, other technology applications, we want to embed Pega screens. So this process is called as Pega Web Embeds. Pega Web Embeds. This process is called as Pega Web Embeds. We'll be learning that. Okay, Pega Web Embed means Pega screens, you will make it available, rendered into some other technology. Pega is, if it is limiting its architecture to section-based architecture, UI, it is little difficult to render. But it is okay, you can render there, but there is a limitation of customizing the UI. So with this architecture of Pega embeds and this particular constellation, Pega UI can be easily modified in other technology applications as well. Easily modified. Okay. Okay. That and all we'll be learning later. Okay. So main point here is in Constellation, there are no more sections. There are no more sections. Rule, HTML, section related. Anyhow, in the flow actions, I have shown you the respective sections have not been created. The respective sections have not been created. Those are just views only. Those are just views only. You can see view. Everything is a view in Pega. You don't, I'm sorry. Everything is a view here in Constellation. Here in Constellation, everything is a view. There are no more sections and all. So now it is going to be a little bit challenge for traditional Pega developers to develop the things so easily compared to previous days. Previous days, everything used to do so easily. Okay, double click on it, go there, go there, go there, and events, actions, so many things used to do. But it is not so easy as you see in the past. Okay. So that events, actions, drag and drop controls, that process is no more available. Just let me show you Constellation UI. If you want to create UI, if you want to create UI from Pega 24.1, 24, Pega from Pega 24, Pega Infinity, Pega 8.7 itself, 8.8 itself is called as Infinity. 8.8 and later, okay, especially in Pega 24 onwards, especially from Pega 24 onwards with Constellation architecture, with Constellation architecture, the only possible approach, the only possible way is App Studio. App Studio. Dev Studio cannot help you to design UI. Cannot help you to design UI. Dev Studio cannot help at all. There's no way you can deal with UI in Dev Studio. Only you can do it from App Studio while you are working with these particular things. Understand clear, everyone? See, if you have a project currently running in Pega traditional UI, there is a possibility that you can convert that UI into Constellation, not by automation. It's again recreation only. But if your project is complex, then converting into Constellation project will be a difficult task, highly difficult. If you are going to start a brand new project today, you start with Constellation only. That's the only option available. That's the only option available. There is no other go. Okay. And if you wanted to start, okay, if you wanted to go with upgrade of old application to new Constellation architecture, it will be a big challenge for you. If it is so easy, then do it. Otherwise, don't do it. One more thing is there. That is, you have your project developed using some Pega framework, some OTB framework you have used. For that framework, Pega did not provide Constellation UI so far. See, Pega environment, they have provided Constellation. For the framework, they don't have Constellation means you cannot transform your application into Constellation. You can have mix up also. Still possibility is there for some days. You can have traditional UI based plus Constellation mix up application also possible. But it will be a big confusion actually. Okay. So an application today can exist as a pure traditional UI, pure Constellation UI, Constellation plus traditional UI as a mix up. An application today can exist as it possibility I'm telling pure section based UI. Second, pure Constellation UI or mix up. Okay, section plus Constellations UI as a mix up is also possible, but not a recommended way. Maybe in future you will slowly turn all your sections into Constellation UI slowly. That's how mixing also it can run. That's not a problem. But the last one is not so good to come up with. Okay. So if you are going to develop application in Pega 24.2, okay, if you want to develop application, create an application, create a new application, all this, if you want to do in Pega 24.2, how can you do that? See, in from Pega 24.1, 24 version onwards, you got something called application blueprint. Application blueprint. First point, application. I will show you this. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to show you this application blueprint. Second one, application creation. Application creation. Third one, case types. Case types. Fourth one, data modeling. Data modeling. So creating UI, creating application functionalities, creating and developing. Okay, developing application functionalities. Using Constellation UI, plus sixth one, Pega DX APIs, okay, and seventh one is Pega Web Embeds. These are all the things we are going to learn to discuss. All these we are going to learn, and apart from all this, most important thing is what we are going to learn. What are we going to learn? Okay, so eighth one, above all, with AI, with Pega Gen AI, Pega Gen AI. Above all, with Pega Gen AI, we are going to learn. So Gen AI means it is going to have AI features included, wherever possible you can use AI features. While practicing, you'll come to know that. Pega Gen AI, I'm going to tell you. Everyone clear? This is what we are going to start learning from tomorrow onwards. So once you start working on UI, you realize much better about these points. So today, every one of you, did you understand up to some extent? Up to some you the key point. Can you tell me what is the key point of understanding in today's session? One key point. Only for telling you one point only. This much I told you. Static content server. No more sections. Static content server with React components will be rendered into browser. That's it. Done. As of now, done. I did not tell you anything technical things. I did not stress on any technical points related to Constellation so far. I just told you what is there as one point. I have taken almost 1 hour to explain because to show traditional UI and all. Okay. So everyone clear? Online students, anyone has any doubts or any questions? If you understand that point, today's session you understand all. Okay. Tomorrow you are going to start learning. But remember one thing, because you are a beginner for Constellation, right? It is possible that you will get confused a lot while creating UI. It is very much possible that you will get confused, not simply some extent. You will get confused a lot while developing UI because your mind is completely filled with traditional way of development. You are seeing a new way of development that is even little bit more confusing to you. Uh, that's not your problem. That's not the system problem. It's an adoption problem. It will take some time for you to adapt to that particular nature of development. If you practice repeatedly, Then you slowly realize to understand this way of developing UI over traditional way. You will feel it confused, but what you feel, another thing is, at some point in time you feel like, you realize like, it is much okay, you are getting the solutions for the requirements in much easier way compared to traditional approach. Getting final ultimate solution is much easier compared to traditional approach. That's what you are definitely going to realize. But when you are initially developing, you feel like a lot of confusion. What are we doing, where are we doing, how it is automatically coming, I don't understand. It is automatically doing so many things, how? That's what confusion you'll get. But you find it like, okay, to implement this requirement I have spent almost 1 hour, but here I have done it in 10 minutes only with constellation architecture and all. Okay, that's the realization also you'll get at some point in time. Okay. Okay, so achieving the output result with less number of steps and in a much easier way compared to previous way of development of which is taking more time and all. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you one example simply. We have done customer search screen, text box, a button, results, correct? You placed a button yourself, right? There is no way you can place buttons. Now with Constellation, you cannot drag and drop and put a button. Not at all possible. Okay, you cannot. If you want a button, create your own button. How? Write React code for creating your own button. Create it as a React component. Push it into server. Admins will do pushing into servers. Creating React component will be done by React developers. After pushed, it will be available to use. That you will be doing as a Pega developer. But a Pega developer with React development will be good, but pushing will never be done by Pega developers. Will never be done by Pega developers. Maybe a Pega developer can be React developer, but pushing must be done as a process by admins only. Release management team, DevOps teams only must be doing that. You will never do that. Okay. But anyhow, we'll be learning slowly one by one and see maybe it will. So in two different parts we'll be learning this. So DX APIs I will cover at the end. DX APIs I'll be covering at the end. If you want to understand DX APIs, you need to have a clear idea about REST connectors. I did not start REST connectors for you. That is the next topic where we stopped actually. I'll teach you Constellation and then I'll stop somewhere. REST connectors completed, we'll come back and Constellation will finish like that. Just this is 2 classes, that is 2 classes, 3 classes. Okay. So anyhow, we are going to practically implement all this. We'll see all the requirements which we have done in our traditional so far. Same requirements we'll try to implement using Constellation and see how it is different from previous ones. You will be confused in the development process for sure. You'll be getting confused, but I'll make it possible to clear, make it maximum. I'll try to make it so much clear to you without getting confused. But let's see, you will have a little confusion unless you practice 3-4 times. That confusion will not be going away. Okay. See, from tomorrow onwards, I will take your session till 8:55 for a few days. 8:55 only. Okay. 8:55 I'll close the meeting. So tomorrow onwards, we are going to start a new batch 9 o'clock. That's why for 2-3 days I'll stop by 8:55 only. No problem. And you just connect by 8 o'clock sharp. 8 to 8:55 will wind up. Okay. From tomorrow for next 3 days. And then 9 o'clock till 9 o'clock will continue. Okay. After that. Okay. So be ready to work on the Constellation. Today I told you only one single point. What is that point? I am repeating once again. Pega user interface with Constellation architecture is not sections. It is views. It is not controls. It is components. Okay. It is not coming from rule HTML section table. Instead, it is coming from a static content server where it is available stored as a React components, JS files and all, React files and all. And from there, it is coming into browser and getting rendered into browser. Can you please attach Friday's document? It is not, Friday's document is not available. Okay, I'm going to attach now. Just give me 1 minute. See here. Let me take you there. Just help me to attach those things. Where is it? This is here. Batch number 69. Same thing I am going to teach now to 11 o'clock batch also in Telugu. Okay, Pega class. Friday I did not attach. November 9th. November 7. Oh, okay. Hey, I did not attach documents, it seems. Oh, this is MCQ now. Okay. Okay, November 8th. November 08 2024. I don't know how I forgot this. 619. Narayana Narayana Jaya Govinda Hari Govinda Hari. Any theory document? No, right? That is all exception handling mechanism and all, right? That is good. Well and good. And next 11 November class. See, I don't have any theory document. This is pretty much fair enough. This class running notes is pretty much fair enough. 2024. 619 theory document I am attaching, and Constellation, this is a document you need to go through. Okay, class running nodes diagram I'll attach itself has theory. Connect soap means what? Connect soap, there is no separate nodes because only we need to learn about web service, soap service. Connector point of view I have given you already in the document. Diagram I have to attach, right? Diagrams somewhere. Okay. Where is the diagram? I'll just save this once again. Save it. Close this. Traditional UI versus Constellation. Okay, you can wind up for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you for joining, everyone. And if you have any of your friends wanted to join Pega training from tomorrow, new batch will start. You can let them know. Thank you.